video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we're going to look at my favorite decks from BT6. Additionally, we're going to look at some upgrades they're going to get with the new expansion set just right around the corner. So this should be helpful for either BT6 or some expansion set 1 content as well. But we do have 3 decks. We do have AguBond, we've got GabuBond, and we also have Title Loop or Lilith Loop or however you want to say it. So there also should be timestamps in the description as well. So if you only care about one of these decks, we're going to do it. But we're going to look at the original deck that I have and been running in BT6. We're going to look at the upgrades, talk about some new cards that are coming to the expansion set, and then go from there. So first up, we do have this AguBond. And this is a deck that really surprised me. I thought I wasn't going to like this deck at all. I'm definitely more of kind of like a combo or kind of control kind of player, like mid-range kind of stuff. And this deck on the surface seemed like it is a really aggressive deck, right? There's no level 5s. You're just the idea is that you go into your big Bond of Bravery and go from there. Or you can even go on top of your Greymon at level 4 here, and you can use that to kind of pressure 2 security damage if you're lucky. And it's not too unheard of to do it as well, especially since we were running the Demi-Meramon as our egg. And then also we do have the Agumons that can boost it. So this can be a security attack plus 1. 8k swing pretty easily with this deck. It's already 6k guaranteed with the Demi-Meramon, which is good enough to at least like trade with any blockers. So that helps out the deck and just puts a lot of pressure on. So I like this kind of idea for it as well. And then I kind of made it a little bit more of my own. I put Geo Greymons in from the Star deck, which is just a fantastic add. Just being able to play this card from your security for free is already such a boon for this deck. And then also getting rewarded for it for everything else. We put Marcus's in it, and so since we have these Greymons, and since this just looks for a Greymon in its name, you can swing with one of these, and then you get the memory back too, which is nice with the Marcus. And pretty much going up to the chain. We also run the Magnadramon at 2 of, just to help us recover some security and just be our really only defensive option in this deck. We're pretty aggressive in a lot of ways, but if we need to do like a Bond of Bravery, is more of a like clear board, be kind of obnoxious play, then we can use like you can clear like 2 bodies with this guy pretty easily, and then also they lose security, and then you can play Magnadramon and like maybe go back up to 5, or even if you did Bond of Bravery to 0, being able to use Magnadramon to go back up to 2, clear some of your opponent's board, and then pressure lethal next turn, I think is great. And it just a very fun deck. I really enjoy playing this deck. I enjoy what it does, and it just feels really good when it works off. And it's a really good spot. So I like this deck. Going into the expansion set, so some new cards we kind of want to focus on specifically are 1, we do have a new Agumon. So this has an inheritable when attacking. Once per turn, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add 1 Tamer or 1 Digimon with Agumon and its name among them to your hand, then place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is really good for what we're doing. And I don't know if you want to like boost it up from even more than that, but being able to search for not only your Agumons, but you can also get Agumon Bond of Bravery to your hand with it, just because it does have Agumon in its name. So I think that can be kind of helpful for what you're doing. And additionally, we do have this Skull Greymon. This is definitely a bit of a niche pick, but it has security attack plus 1. You can Digivolve on top of yourself. It is a Greymon, so if you do have like this Agumon here, or even this Agumon, it gets the plus 2k boost, and then with Demi-Meramon. So this becomes an 11k security attack plus 1 swing. It deletes itself at the end of the swing, though, but just any on deletion, you can play an Agumon for your trash suspended without paying its memory cost, which means that you can play like this Agumon, which lets you look top 3, or just anything you play is fine because it makes your opponent have to interact with it. And I think it's really good. And we're playing Nokia in our deck already, which means that you can reduce the memory cost of this by 1 by tapping the Nokia. Same with Marcus, you can swing, you also get the memory back there. So I think there's a lot of synergies with this guy. I'm not sure if he's too expensive for what we're doing, but he does kind of help out with what we're doing. And if we can't find this Greymon, we can maybe find this Greymon. And we already have some inheritables that we want to swing with anyways. So I think that's kind of nice for what we're doing. So those are kind of the 2 cards that caught my eye for this set. I think this Agumon's great just because it can find Bond. And we're already swinging in with our dudes anyways. I think this can help. But, obviously we do lose some of our ability to get that boost on it. So maybe if you don't like this Agumon as much, you can just play this guy. We don't get any on plays with this Skull Greymon, which is kind of the reason I like this guy. But I think that's okay for what we're doing, because this already does look for more tamers for us too. and we can kind of go from there. But this is this list, and I hope you guys try this out and let me know what you think. I haven't tried it out much, and I think I'm going to be doing some streaming next week of some of these decks, but there we go. Next up, we've got GabuBond. Here is my version that I've been running currently. It's kind of a like Dramon package, using the kind of Dracomon to be able to find like Core Dramon or Magna Dramon. And also we have All Force V Dramon, which is a really cool add with Vmon. You can Digivolve onto here for 4 if your opponent has a level 6 out. And then we can even go into Bond of Friendship if it all makes sense and works out. So I think that's a really cool combo for what we're doing, and can make, catch your opponent off guard if they're not expecting it. And once again, Magna Dramon. I think I really do like Magna Dramon in security control, or not security control, in Bond decks, just because you can get some really swingy turns where you're able to, go to 0, play your Bond, and then play Magna, and then you still have your Bond out. You still have a big swing, and you have 2 security. And security in this deck can be pretty stacked at times. Rattlestar, Catus Breath, etc. is very strong for what we're doing. So I like this idea and everything that goes with it. Core Dramon was definitely a big boon from the starter deck. Being able to play this card for free is good, and I think that kind of helps us out. Going into the expansion set 1 version of this deck, I unfortunately kind of had to cut out the Magnas, and I did this for both Bond decks, and I can see adding them back. I think they are definitely like the flex card for what you're doing. They're just not consistent at times, in the sense that you don't have cards to search them out, and then they can just be dead in hand if you're like at 4 security or something. But I decided to do this deck just because we have we have this GabuBond, which is pretty much similar to the Agumon, but GabuBond is blue. It looks top 3 for a Tamer or GabuBond with it. And if you look at this deck, that we rarely Digivolve on top to level 4s and get swings with them. We really only have like Core Dramon and Lobomon. We kind of want to save these for our Tamers, so for this version, I went more heavy onto the hybrids. We used Drabimons, also searched for our Tamers, and then with GabuBond too, we find our Tamers very easily. And then also we do run the Lobomons and Kendogarurumons. These just kind of incentivize us for doing the Digivolution on top of our GabuBonds anyways. Kendogarurumon for sure, just because you can also gain some advantage by popping one of your opponent's rookies as well. So I think that's really good for what we're doing, being able to find the cards and then just going from there. Pretty much the only other card we talked is Ice Wall, which a lot of people are expecting this card to get banned or hit in some way, especially since the Japanese version of this game, or meta of this game, is expecting a ban list in the next couple, week or so, next couple weeks. But active main, all of your opponent's Digimon gain 1 attack and lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's turn, and then security gain 2 memory. This is just absurd. It can make it. This is a really good defense card. It can be very good offensively too. The fact that it helps you pass 1 memory if you need to. There's just a lot of good stuff I think this card is. And in security, gain 2 memory. It's just good all over, and I think it can just make your plays very easy and make it easy for your opponent to pass back to your turn, which with the Davis up feels good, with the Matt up it feels good. I really do like this deck. So here's just the idea of just the GabuBond and the Ice Wall. I think are the 2 new choices for the deck, and if you're wanting to run those, I think going more of the hybrid than the kind of Dracomon version makes sense, and that is there. Lastly, we do have the Titamon Lilith Loop list. I still do like the Kinkuamon and Promote package. I think this is just really clean for what it does. And this deck is more of the Titamon version of it, because I do like this card being able to play a level 4 from your drop area for free, especially if you get like a Kinkuamon Promote, you can get your memory back and everything else with it. I think this is just a strong contender for what it does. I think this deck is always going to be something that you have to play a lot of, and you got to get your ratios for what you want. How many Jackeries you want, how many Mega Digimon Fusion, White Tamers. If you even want to just do full Lilithmon, I think that's fine. I've even thought about doing like 2 or 3, instead of 3, just 2 Omnimon Zords too. This is a very, very tight list. I think if you were to run if they're going to do something like they do in Dragon Ball Super, where they change the minimum deck from 50 to you can have a range between 50 and 60, this is definitely a deck. I think I'd make that a little bit above 60, not only because we are above 50 because we get through our deck so much, we trash so many cards, but there's just so many like one-ofs or like ratios you kind of want to fix on that. But going to the expansion set 1, this is probably the most untested version of this. and this is more just to show off the new cards and not necessarily use this as your ratios. But the big things I wanted to say is Analog Youth is a fantastic card. It is a white tamer, which we desperately need for our Mega Digimon Fusion. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand, then trash the remaining cards. All turns when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Devolution cards is deleted, you may suspend this tamer. If you do, gain 1 memory, then hatch 1 Digi-Egg to an empty space in your breeding area. This effect, I think, is fantastic. It helps you out a lot at what you do. It lets you fill up your drop. It lets you get some potential memory gain or things dying. This could also happen, like if you... like, let's just say you have like a level 5 out and you need to get that extra memory, you can swing in, and if it dies, you get this extra memory because it's all turns for this, and that can help out. We also have win rate 60%, and I almost think this is strictly better for the list on top of Mega Digimon Fusion, strictly because it does help you with all of your devolutions. Specifically, sometimes I would have a hard time finding enough memory to do my Tidamon, but 2 memory for this deck is not as bad as 1 memory to do it. So if you have a tamer out and you may use an option card without, you can use this without meeting its color requirements. Not that we'd ever really not have that active because we have our tamers. But maybe next time one of your Digimon digivolves into this turn, next time one of your Digimon digivolves this turn, you can trash 1 Digimon card in your hand of the same color as the Digimon to reduce the memory cost of devolution by 4. So that just means that for 2, you can do your Tidamon, or 2, you can do Lilithmon, or for 4 memory, you can do your Omnimon Zwart, which becomes 2 memory if you have a Lilithmon out already. So that feels very good. The fact that it trashes a card means it procs your Ginkuamon, it procs your Sunomon. That also has some good synergy for you. Even procs like a Tidamon if you like need that to proc somehow, and just gets a lot of extra benefits from there on. So I really do like that idea. Being able to go into Tidamon on your turn without having to like lose any momentum, I think feels good. I'd almost would think like this would, I don't know. I think if you're doing like strictly a Tidamon OTK, you'd want win rate 60% in this list just to be able to do that effect, be able to go into your Tidamon for free. If you have like a Blackboard Groundmon out already, you're already set to go. And then you can also you can play like Ginkuamon Promotes, which also get more memory back and everything. I think this is like a really this can be like really combo-y for what this deck does. And I think I need to find out the ratios more, but I think the good cards to think about for Lilith Loop are once again win rate 60% and Analog Youth. I think both these cards can transform how the deck works, how the plays. It can make it more Tidamon leaning as well, especially since once again it's a lot easier to keep it your turn while playing Tidamon. Because if you do have like Ginkuamon out on top of like a Black War Groundmon, you can just use this win rate 60%. You get the Ginkuamon promotes on it, or procs on it. So just for 1, you can digivolve into any of your level 6s, which is great. Or for 1, you can for 3, you can go into Zwart. I think that's great too. But I think that is all I have to talk about for these decks. All these lists are going to be in the description below. If you guys want to look at them as well. I think they are, I don't know, these have been a lot of fun. And right now, I think there's going to be some fun expansion set 1 content with these as well, and just kind of finding out how these decks work and kind of go from there. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite deck of these, or if there's any decks that you think I should cover as well. But that'll be it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.